Picture this. You're strolling through the university center, bombarded with tables decked out in candy and flyers, each of them screaming for your attention like you're some kind of reality TV star. Come get your slap bracelet, get your candy, get your swag, get all your free stuff. It's like walking through a forest of billboards, except the trees are trying to sign you up for their newsletter or student group. I mean, it's awkward that trees are talking to you. Now, imagine if instead of just people sitting behind a table yelling for you to come over, you encountered one group of students building a robot at one table.
So robots building robots.
And another group is singing Acapella.
Oh, Lunella Acapella.
And then there's another table that has a 3D printer that asks you what you want to print.
There you go, 3D printed on the spot.
Suddenly, you're not just walking past anymore, you're stopping, you're watching, and you're engaging. Why? Because they are leveraging a critical element of recruitment that 99.99% of the groups that I work with fail to do. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the secret to drastically increase your recruitment efforts and how you can leverage it. Let's get into it. During my visit to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I stopped by Carnegie Mellon University. Don't say Carnegie, Carnegie, which is a beacon of innovation and future debt. While there, I passed by a club fair where every table was covered with this reading material, and there was some candy to entice the students to come over and come closer to the table. We also passed several bulletin boards that were littered with posters about upcoming events and telling students to go attend those events. It all reminded me of this advertisement I once saw for an online marketing course that said, if you market it, they will come, which is about as outdated a phrase as my AOL email address. Don't judge. Those traditional recruitment methods could have been so much better, but most of the leaders were stationed behind their tables, merely just informing those people passing by about what the group does and distributing flyers with information about the group. This approach, while very common, often fails to make a lasting impression. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. There is a better way, and it's called show, not tell. And when applied to your recruitment efforts, this strategy can transform your approach and empower you to create a more immersive and engaging experience for your potential members and even your clients. So instead of the stale table with flyers, imagine instead you're a part of a live demo, or that's like a taste test for your group's vibe. Hey man, I thought we were vibing. You will never capture the attention of the Netflix generation by passively sitting back with a boring flyer at a boring table. You have to be out front, showing them what you do and letting them experience it firsthand. So let's break down how transforming your pitch into a performance can turn passive onlookers into passionate participants. So whether you're a university club or a corporate booth at a trade show, the principle remains the same. An interactive experience trumps a passive pitch every time. So picture a booth, not just with flyers about sustainable energy, but with a pedal power smoothie machine. Now that's not just marketing, that's a mind-blowing workout.
Yeah, right.
With a tasty reward at the end for that potential new member.
I love it! I love it!
Don't just use an information table to put out boring information for your organization or event. Instead, set up an interesting or creative activity related to the topic in a place that has high foot traffic. You're going to get 10x more curious onlookers by showing them what you do versus telling them what you do. If nothing else, you will have spent time doing something you enjoy instead of just talking about it from behind the table. The same is true for companies at trade shows. A booth with an engaging component showing what you will do is more interesting and more memorable than one with just marketing flyers. We actually occasionally go to trade shows ourselves to promote our leadership training work we do called Dance Floor Theory, plug. And you better believe we show people what we do instead of just telling them what we do. For example, one engaging activity we've done from our booth is called Clothespin tag. Before the conference, we buy 2,000 clothespins, not these big ones, but the little ones, and we stamp them all with the phrase "tag you're it" on one side. And then anytime someone comes to the booth, we tell them that we have a challenge for them, and the challenge is called the Pin Tag Challenge. Their challenge is they have to tag people on their clothing without them knowing. If they get caught, they get to introduce themselves and then introduce that person to the game and get them involved. If they run out, we tell them to come back to the booth where we have a ton of the clothes waiting for them and they can restock. The game always quickly becomes so addictive and people are tagging each other endlessly throughout the entire conference. And as a bonus, our booth has higher than normal traffic because people repeatedly return to reload the clothespins and to tell us their story. But the real magic, however, is when people come by the booth for the first time and they have that moment when they realize that we're the ones behind the clothespin tagging game. It's a powerful moment of surprise and engagement that sticks with them long after that conference is done. Those aha moments are so powerful. In fact, Tanya Luna wrote the book Surprise, Embrace the Unpredictable and Engineering the Unexpected. And in it, she talks about the value of creating surprise aha moments like the one we did. And she describes the experience like this. When people are surprised by something, the brain goes through the surprise sequence. It's a strong neural alert that tells us that something is important going on and that we should pay attention. Our cognitive resources are basically hijacked and pulled into the moment, and your attention is completely in that moment. Tanya talks about how when humans are surprised, their brain actually freezes for 1/25th of a second. And in that split second, their brain gets super curious, they lean in, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And in that moment, our booth, our information, what we do is there. Our brains like to find answers quickly, so they don't waste as many resources processing. If you give someone that answer right away, like putting your website information on a clothespin or a flyer with all the info, the brain does very little processing of remembering the information and it'll forget it.
Excellent!
Very informative.
But by prolonging the who's behind this game question for the participants, we create a ton of these surprise moments at our booth, at the conferences, when people eventually find out that it's us. That surprising moment is gonna stick with that person way long after than a flyer will because their brain actually paid attention. Surprise isn't just the spice of life, it's the secret sauce of engagement. You're not just a part of their day, you're actually the highlight reel and will be remembered for a long time. So there you have it. The next time you find yourself in that recruitment seat, remember, don't just tell them why they should join your group or your cause, show them. Turn your recruitment strategy into an immersive trailer of the incredible experience that is bound to await them by participating in your group. Because in the world right now, where attention is the currency, make sure your booth, your club, your organization, or your cause is the blockbuster hit of the season. And if you enjoyed this video and how to better engage your people, I highly recommend you clicking that subscribe button and check out all of our videos because we do tons of content around how to better recruit, retain, and engage your people. Speaking of which, my name is Tom. I'm here to help you to engage the people on your dance floor. I'll see you in the next video.